Jonathan, I want to ask about this books case as well as I welcome into the conversation Phil Holloway, former assistant district attorney. So, Jonathan, I'll come to you first on that. And Phil, thank you so much for being with me. And then I'll come to you next. What implications wider than this children's books that could go against a family's faith, which I was shocked it even got to the Supreme Court because Shannon Bream just reported how many people were against having those books for their kids anyway. But is there a wider look, if you can, Jonathan, at what that really means across the country?
This is enormously important for many of us who have been waiting for a robust opinion in favor of parental rights. This gets us pretty far along that road. The court here really came in on the side of these parents. These parents did an extraordinary task here in fighting off the school district in this case. But the case is important because the court is saying you can't just make parents and their kids your captive audience. And many of us were shocked when Justice Jackson in oral argument said, well, just take your kids out of school. A lot of parents don't have that option. They don't have the money to send kids to private school, but they also don't want to send them to a school that undermines the religious and moral teachings. Now they have the Supreme Court on their side and they can opt out. And I think it's an extraordinary victory for parental rights.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it would take the entire nation agreeing upon something that we typically see in Republican-led states and municipalities, and that's school choice. I mean, they would have to then take and match some of the money, which we've seen in a few red states, match that money so parents can use that. Because you're right, not everybody has the money to send their child to a special and/or private school. Phil, I introduced you. You're part of the conversation. My question is about these books. What about the topics themselves? Does this actually extend out to if those conflict with a parent's faith, can they opt out of the conversation and not just the books?
Yeah, I think so. Look, parents, Harris, are in charge of their kids' education, not the schools. It's the parents that get to make parental decision, not the government and certainly not the schools. What this does is it squarely reinforces this basic notion that seems like we've always known, but in recent past, it's just become a clouded issue. Schools are for the purpose of educating children so that they can go out into the world with the skills that they need to be productive members of society. Schools do not exist to politically indoctrinate children. Schools do not exist to reinforce or to establish anything related to culture wars or the current culture consensus or views of the day. So this is a very important ruling. I think the Supreme Court today has done a great service to American democracy, to our American way of life, to all things related to how courts work. On the injunction thing, courts are not supposed to substitute their judgment for that of the chief executive, even if they personally disagree with it. That's not their job, but that's what these rogue judges have been doing. They have been supplementing or, I guess, implementing their will versus that of the president of the United States because they think that they can conduct oversight. So on balance, I think this is a great day for America.
Yeah. Well, look, it is garnering a pop-up news conference from the President of the United States, and we are awaiting him. Jonathan Turley and Phil Holloway, thank you for joining the conversation. We keep you along with our White House reporters.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.